Good evening. I am Mark Destiny, and this is the Wrestling with Destiny podcast. In the near 30 years that WWE Raw has been on air, there hasn't been many periods that have been as creatively dull as the one we find ourselves in today. Monday's edition, which featured one of the show's worst first hours of all time, felt like it reached a new low. Little was accomplished, time was wasted, and few superstars were showcased. In other words, it simply just existed. Thankfully, SmackDown has been the polar opposite for the past several months. The Blue brand is coming off of one of its strongest shows in some time. In addition, a former All-Pro punter Pat McAfee to the announce table has been nothing but positive. All Elite Wrestling also has a bit of momentum heading into its highly anticipated Blood and Guts show this Wednesday and its Double or Nothing pay-per-view later in May. Some stars are finally getting their rightful push towards stardom, such as Miro, while some stars are just stranded in the mid-card. But this week has a lot of stuff to go over, including Daniel Bryan being put to the alumni section on WWE's website, Andrade challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA World Heavyweight Championship, and much more. I will be right back with you after the intro.
Hey yo, what up? It's Darby Allin, and you need to subscribe and tune into Wrestling with Destiny podcast on YouTube at Mark Destiny for wrestling content and review shows. Tap in or tap out.
Looking for the news, I'm the one you need to see. AEW, NXT, and WWE. In and out the rope so we can keep it in the ring. For the business, I'm like gravy because it turned me to a fiend. I super kicks it to your HBK 9-7. From the same city as Moxley, Cincinnati, where I'm repping. 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, you won't last. You are tuned into the Wrestling with Destiny podcast.
Now, it's safe to say that Monday Night Raw desperately needs a creative overhaul in the worst way. The roster is incredibly gifted, but the WrestleMania and the rear view mirror, it seems like WWE doesn't have a clue what to do with most of the talent. That couldn't have been any more apparent on Monday's episode, which was arguably the worst in years. Braun Strowman wrestling in 3 matches throughout the night, while historic and also record-setting, illustrated just how little the rest of the roster is being utilized. Man, the WWE Championship picture with Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and now Strowman has been entertaining enough in recent weeks, but nothing else on Raw comes close to feeling remotely as important. Charlotte Flair getting reinstated so quickly served no storyline purpose. The tag team division is nearly non-existent. Sheamus lacks credible challengers to the United States Championship. Bray Wyatt is nowhere to be found. I brought him here, guys. I brought him. Because he has been nowhere to be found. Where's Bray? I'm assuming he's getting repackaged. I assume. And the Women's Tag Team Championship picture has been dreadful because there's no tag teams. Even when superstars out injured or inactive for other reasons, there is no excuse for Raw's creative being as stagnant as it is. Meanwhile, over on SmackDown, there are several storylines worth investigating or investing in your time in. Almost anything Roman Reigns touches turns into gold. The Intercontinental Championship scene has been consistently compelling. Aleister Black is on his way back. The tag team division is featured fairly regularly, and new stars are in the process of being made. Now, the tag team championships are horrible. I keep saying this. Get rid of having 2 tag team championships. It makes no sense. Get rid of them. Bring both divisions together and have them do their thing. The Blue brand is far from perfect, but it is more bearable than Raw. And not only because it's an hour shorter, to think that the same company produces both brands is almost unbelievable. In the same given week, no less, and there's no sign of when Raw will be able to bounce back. No, because Raw sucks. I don't understand why people will continue to tune in, But I get it. We tune in because we're wrestling fans, man. People say, oh, if you complain about it so much, why do you watch? Because I'm a wrestling fan. That's why. I love this company. I've been watching this since I was a little kid, man. Then I stopped watching it because I went outside and started playing and fucking girls. So I stopped watching it. Then I started watching it again. But it is what it is, man. As an adult watching this, it's like, damn. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to tell people I'm a wrestling fan because the show fucking sucks. But it is what it is, man. What do you guys think on the credibility of Raw right now? They've reached the ratings are as low as they've ever been right now, man. I think that they need to just do another a brand flip, another draft. But I don't even think that's going to work. I really don't. The show gives me a headache. I almost fall asleep all the time, man. I drink me a couple beers, try to watch it, and it's unbearable, man. There's still people who love watching Raw, though. Like, I don't love watching Raw. I just watch it. And I always want to give my input or what I thought, you know. You can always watch something but not necessarily like what you're watching. And people need to understand that you can have an opinion. You don't have to like everything. You don't. There's people who like stuff that I despise. I don't hold that against them. If you like watching this, well, kudos to you. But don't get mad at me because I don't like the shit that I'm seeing. It just is what it is, man. We are allowed to have an opinion. Everything's not hating. I just don't like what I'm watching. And I'm going to continue to watch it because I love wrestling. It is what it is. I mean, you don't stop eating at a restaurant because you had a burger from there that wasn't as good as the burger you had last time you went there. You're going to continue to eat there again because you like the restaurant. You get what I'm saying? It's just that simple, guys. So just keep that in mind. If someone doesn't like something, don't get all offended and sad about it. We just don't like it, man. We just don't like it. Raw sucks. If you don't think that Raw sucks, then okay. Congratulations. I think it sucked. And I think a lot of people think it sucked. Had a guy tell me, oh, if you don't like the show, you don't like Raw, well then why don't you just stop watching it? Why don't you just stop watching it? Why do you want to keep watching AEW if you don't like WWE? Now listen, man. I like WWE. Does WWE suck right now? You're damn straight. But you never know, man. In the future, what can happen? Things will get better. This is just a time where things suck. It's not like WWE hasn't sucked before. Now, I know y'all remember 93, 92, 93, all of that, 94. But right before the Attitude Era, they was doing a lot of goofy shit. Right when WCW started popping, really popping, yeah. WWE sucked then. And you know what they did? They changed things. They changed things around. They ain't gonna have to do that this time. The PG era shit needs to be over with. All of the corny, goofy shit needs to be over with. Now, SmackDown has been doing damn good. SmackDown's been doing good. Now, I won't even say damn good. SmackDown has been decent because of Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, and now with Cesaro. Edge, I don't know where Edge is. He had that WrestleMania match, then gone. So, who knows where Edge is? A lot of people have been asking that question. I don't know where Edge is. But I'm honestly not looking forward to seeing Edge. I mean, Edge was great when he was younger, before he had to retire. But Edge, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. He looks super old, man. Like, he don't look like he need to be in a ring. He's in good shape, but he just looks super old, man. So, I don't know, man. What do you think Raw needs to do to bounce back? WWE in general, because they ruined NXT too. NXT was a hell of a show before it came to USA Network. When it was just on WWE Network, that was one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show. That shit was amazing. Every episode. Storylines and all of that. So tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Remember, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. I need you guys to subscribe. I thank you so much to the people who do and the people who comment or like my videos. I really appreciate it. Y'all are part of the Wrestling with Destiny family, and y'all will. I would even do videos for you. Just let me know. Like if you want to see me do a documentary, because I'm going to start doing documentaries too on YouTube about different wrestlers that I like. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, let me know. I'm here for you. I am the people's champ. WWE's post-WrestleMania commentary shakeup saw Adam Verk. I don't think that's his name. Adam, I think it's Adnan something. Verk joined the Raw's announce team while Pat McAfee replaced Corey Graves as SmackDown's play-by-play commentator alongside Michael Cole. So far, Pat McAfee has excelled his role for more than Verk has for a variety of reasons. I think Verk is kind of like nervous. He's not used to it, so... For starters, McAfee was obviously far more familiar with the product than Verk prior to becoming a commentator for the company. McAfee signed with the WWE in early 2019 as a contributor and took part in several kickoff shows and watch-along events before becoming a regular on NXT TV for a time in the late 2020. And he also had a damn good match with Adam Cole. Verk has potential, but Raw has a tendency to cycle through commentators before whoever it is at the helm has a chance to get comfortable. Look no further than Vic Joseph, who was touted as the new voice of Raw in 2019 before being booted for Tom Phillips mere months later. And Tom Phillips is gone too. I think he's on 205 Live, which nobody watches. SmackDown has been firing on all cylinders in 2021, and having McAfee there to call the action is a huge help. Although Cole has credibility, having been around for more than 2 decades, he doesn't have the energy or the excitement for the product that McAfee has, and that's going to be what keeps him around in the long run. At a time when most WWE's announcers sound the same, McAfee is exactly what the main roster needs. He doesn't come across as overproduced. He speaks with passion and has quickly proved to be a natural fit for the role. This is crazy because what's the guy name who was there who just went to 205 Live that I brought? Tom Phillips. He sounds just like Michael Cole. I swear to God, I can't tell them apart unless I see their faces. They sound like the same person, and that's because of the training he had to do. You know how Vince McMahon is. I assume he wanted him to sound like Cole. That's what I think. But I think Tom Phillips has done something to get demoted all the way down to 205 Live. No one watches that. I don't even know why that show still exists. There's no reason to have 205 Live. Like, who the hell watches that? I don't know. I don't even know who's on there. So when they did all those budget cuts, they needed to budget cut that whole shit. Take that off. Nobody watches that shit. But it is what it is, man. Tell me what y'all think about Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is a fucking beast when it comes to being on that microphone, man. He's damn good, man. I really enjoy it. So just let me know. Now, my current favorite wrestler after Darby Allin. I like dark stuff. So who will be Aleister Black's first rival upon return? Who do you think? After more than 6 months of inactivity, Aleister Black is finally on his way back to WWE TV. A vignette promoting his return aired on the April 23rd edition of SmackDown and indicated he will be a heel once he resurfaces. Although having him in that role is better than not having him around at all, it does make it more challenging to pair him with someone on SmackDown. Following the loss of Daniel Bryan on Friday, there's one less top talent he can possibly feud with. Despite being one of SmackDown's lead babyfaces, Kevin Owens isn't an option. He and Black already had a series of matches against each other last fall, and rekindling that rivalry wouldn't offer anything new. Please don't do it. That leaves 4 potential superstars: Cesaro, Big E, Rey Mysterio, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Interesting enough, all of them except Nakamura are chasing championships and are tied up in their own storylines. Seeing as how Black's vignettes just started and aren't expected to end for another few weeks, there's a chance he could target any of them post-WrestleMania Backlash. Of the four, Nakamura might be the best bet because of how WWE has shown that there are no plans in place for him anytime soon. Plus, he has enough credibility that Black beating him would mean something. The matches between the two would be physical and hard-hitting to boot. Black is a welcome addition to already star-studded SmackDown roster. Congratulations for having Aleister Black back. My guy. I can't wait to see him in action, man. Tell me what you think about Aleister Black being back. Are you excited like me? Because I'm excited. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Let me know what you think, y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Recently released WWE superstar Mickie James said this week that a person she had a significant issue with during her time in WWE is still employed by the company. Appearing on Gaul TV with former WWE superstar Victoria and former TNA Knockout SoCal Val, James discussed her departure from WWE and the trash bag incident that went viral. James also made mention of how someone whom she clashed with, who is still employed, saying, I will say this. The person that is responsible for me feeling like shit, and like I feel like completely trying to sabotage or devalue me or make me feel less than is still very much employed, and that's fucking the worst thing. You know what I mean? Now, I think I know who this person is, but I also said that the guy who was fired for this wasn't the person that did it, was the Fallout guy, because they wanted him out the company already anyway. James said that the person who is still employed shot down her idea for an all-female brand within WWE over WrestleMania 37 weekend, telling her that the All-Women's Evolution pay-per-view was the lowest-rated pay-per-view in WWE history. James recently made headlines when she tweeted a photo of a trash bag in which WWE sent her belongings following her release from the company. Now, I knew that it wasn't that guy, Canoro, whatever his last name is, Mark Canoro. I said that he was the Fallout guy. If you know, you know. We know that Bruce Pritchard does not like Nick Aldis, which is Mickie James' husband, and ever since that back and forth they had, I feel like she's been treated like non-existent in WWE. Also, Mick Foley tweeted to Vince McMahon that they should start an all-women division television show right now, because if they do not, AEW will do it before they will. Now, I don't like this idea for WWE, and this is why, before you get mad. I don't think many people care about the women's division. They're not booking them correctly, and that's the reason why I don't think a show would do well just for the women, because they're not booking them right now anyway, good right now anyway. So what the fuck is a show going to do to help? Now, AEW, on the other hand, they have a lot of women talent. I don't think that they should do an all-women show either right now. They're just not, WWE's just not booking their women correctly. And until that happens, I don't think that they should do a all-women's division show on WWE. If they do, put it on Peacock. Don't put it on live television. I'm not going to watch it. You need big stars for that. I mean, you have big stars. You have Charlotte, you have Sasha Banks, you have Bayley, you have Becky Lynch, you have Asuka. But these same women has been in rotation. We need to see you push Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler needs a push. Like, do something, bring these women up. People are tired of seeing Natalya. I mean, I am. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but the booking of the women is just not where it should be. So I don't want to see an all-women show. Maybe for women, but I don't even think the women, like women wrestling fans, would either like that. I mean, I just see it being boring. Now, if they did, they can have a general manager and, Sonya Deville probably could be the general manager, but they took her away too. Like that was another talent they could have used, but now she's in a general manager kind of position. So I don't know what they're going to do. I think that this is bullshit that what happened to Mickie James though. And the Fallout guy thing, I figured that, but it just is what it is, man. Tell me what you think. Now, Jason Jordan has reportedly taken over the job of John Laurinaitis, who took over the job for the Carano guy who got fired, for talent relations and a producer role for both shows, Raw and SmackDown, creating matches, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know how Jason Jordan pulled this off to get this job, but hey, congratulations, my guy. Congratulations. Let's see if you're able to do something with this job. I mean, the last say so still goes to Vince McMahon anyway, or Bruce Pritchard. So I don't know what this is going to do, if this is going to help anything. But congratulations to you, man. Hopefully you can try to make these shows better, I guess. I assume Jason Jordan is done in the ring. His injury, I guess, was pretty bad. So, I mean, and he still stayed with the company. They still kept him around. So, I guess, man, we'll just have to see in the future what he does. Hopefully he does good. I don't want to wish bad on anyone with getting a good job like this. I hope he can transition into this role, make this role real good for him. Tell me what you guys think about Jason Jordan in this new role, man. Do you think he will excel? Do you think he will be held back from being able to do a good job? Because that happens a lot. You've seen what happened with Paul Heyman and our guy from WCW. I cannot think of his name right now. It's crazy. Eric Bischoff. They had the same similar roles, got fired. And Paul Heyman is good, man. You see what he's doing on SmackDown right now. I'm pretty sure he's doing a lot of that booking. The way he's booking Roman is fucking amazing. I assume that he's picking the challengers, all of that. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But let me know what you think about Jason Jordan in this new role. Now to AEW. This Cody Rhodes rivalry with QT Marshall, I think, is beneath Cody. I don't think that he's going to be able to build up QT Marshall. QT Marshall was just boring to me. His look is boring to me. QT Marshall should be like a manager, but they already have so many managers in AEW also. They have so many groups. There's so many, so I just don't see it. I would rather see Cody Rhodes doing something better than this. But Cody Rhodes not being able to contend for the AEW World Championship per the stipulation of loss to Chris Jericho at Full Gear 2019 has painted AEW into a corner in terms of his booking options. He was perfectly positioned in the AEW TNT Championship picture upon the introduction of that title in May 2020, and it allowed him to work with several fresh faces and up-and-coming stars. However, once that ran its course, he was left with nothing to do and has been bouncing around randomly from feud to feud ever since. His latest storyline has been him at odds with his former friend QT Marshall, who betrayed him in late March and split the Nightmare family into two factions. Despite Marshall's best efforts, the rivalry hasn't been interesting and has felt like a waste of Rhodes' star power. AEW was wise to announce Cody versus Marshall for Blood and Guts. Edition of Dynamite as exposed to saving it for Double or Nothing at the end of May. That would be the best place to blow it off and move forward with the American Nightmare, but it is a lot likelier that something will happen to keep their feud alive for a little longer. I don't want it. If the end game is a match between Cody and newcomer Anthony Ogogo, who has been protected thus far, then that could be used to help elevate Ogogo and get him over as a credible threat. Beyond that, Cody is doomed to flounder until settling on something a bit more significant. Kenny Omega could use a notable challenger, which would have been an ideal spot for Cody if this ban from the title picture didn't exist. Now, I think that Cody's wrestling name is just Cody, even though he has the trademark for Cody Rhodes back. Interesting enough, if he's being called Cody and Cody can't compete for the AEW Heavyweight Championship, what if he changes his name back to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes then can compete for the AEW Championship? That's how I would book this. I mean, it's simple. I mean, that's what I would do if I was booking this. That's the only thing you really could do. I really don't want to see Cody as heavyweight champion, though. At least not right now. And if I did, I would want to see a heel Cody, not a babyface Cody, as AEW champion. But tell me what you guys think. Are you feeling this feud with QT Marshall? I think it's boring, and I do think that Cody deserves better than this. I would like to see a rivalry between Cody and Miro. Tell me what you think about that. Now, speaking of Miro breaking out on his own is long overdue. I was not excited when Miro got there and he was doing dumb shit with Kip Sabian and Penelope Cruz, the best man gimmick. I didn't like it at all. Not at all. Miro debuted on AEW Dynamite in September and is only seemingly about to be thrust into the single spotlight where he belongs. The whole idea behind pairing Miro with Kip Sabian was that they had a shared interest in gaming, that they could be used to keep best friends busy in a rivalry that lasted a lot longer than it needed to. Miro and Sabian beat Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor at the Revolution pay-per-view, but best friends avenged the loss and ended the feud with the win, Arcade Anarchy, on March 31st. Ultimately, Miro gained nothing from teaming with Sabian, but did offer a few glimmers of greatness in the few instances he was let loose. Viewers finally got to see that side of Miro on full display on Wednesday's Dynamite when he viciously assaulted Sabian in the locker room. But Sabian can't even mess with Miro like that, so I can see if he did that to a real big guy, like somebody his size, but Kip Sabian, a little guy. That was a terrific way of setting the tone for what should be a breakout singles run for him. As a three-time United States champion, he had his fair share of success in WWE, but he was underutilized for years. Now he has a better chance of being booked as a monster heel he was destined to be. He's been putting all champions on notice lately, but with Kenny Omega in possession of the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, it would be the most sense for him to set his sights on my guy, Darby Allin, with the TNT Championship. The size dynamic alone would make for a wonderful match that should result in Miro taking the title. I don't want him to take the title. I don't know. Maybe. A stint in the main event scene could be coming at some point, but in the meantime, it's satisfying to see him find his footing after a less than stellar start in the company. Now, that would be great. Maybe I just thought about it in my head while I was saying that if he took the title off of Darby Allin, and Darby Allin started a feud with Kenny Omega. I don't see Hangman Page having a feud with Kenny Omega no time soon. I really don't like the dynamic of him with the Dark Order, unless the Dark Order has become a comedy relief, and I don't like that. I think it was cool at the beginning, but they need to be more serious. Do it for Brody, man. Get y'all shit together. But yeah, man, I am happy to see Miro being treated as a monster like he should be. I liked when Rusev first debuted in WWE and he was undefeated, kicking everybody's ass. That match he lost against John Cena, it was a wrap after that. And then when he lost against Roman Reigns, it was just downhill ever since. And then Rusev Day came and then they killed that. So I'm just happy to see him doing something better. I want to see the monster Miro, and I'm all here for it, man. Tell me what you think about Miro being pushed as a singles competitor finally in AEW and getting away from Kip Sabian and this video game stuff. Because I am done with that. I'm done with that. I just want to see Miro fight in high-profile matches. and I want to see him do his damn thing. If you agree with that, let me know in the comments section. A hilarious moment between Seth Rollins and the Young Bucks. Seth Rollins tweets, "Congratulations to my jacket on its successful trip through the forbidden door." Young Bucks responded about the jacket, and and Seth Rollins said, "Ringleader, mastermind, visionary, creator, embrace the vision." But the Young Bucks did respond, saying, calling Seth Rollins Tyler, told him sorry they had to beat up his friend, talking about Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. And I think this is great. I think it's funny though. I wouldn't have done that. I wonder why they chose to use Seth Rollins' jacket. It's kind of weird, don't you think? But who knows, man? That was just a quick shot. Now this is a big story. Andrade versus Kenny Omega coming to AAA. Andrade will soon be in the ring facing Kenny Omega, just not in the AEW as many fans hope. The recently released superstar appeared at AAA's Ray Day Ray's event over the weekend and issued a challenge to Omega for the AAA Championship. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio Ringside News said the match has been in the makings for some time. "I don't know if it's official, but I have known about this match since the day Andrade was released. When he did that interview where he said that he wanted to face Kenny Omega, he said that because that match there," Meltzer said. Andrade has been competing in Mexican promotions since his WWE release, but is yet to make his stateside comeback. It's possible that a match with Omega could be a precursor to Andrade finding himself on AEW or Impact Television. Given Andrade's in-ring talent and charisma, it's only a matter of time before he winds up in one of those two companies. For now, fans will have to tune in to AAA's Triple Mania event if they want their Andrade Omega dream match. This match is going to be amazing. Andrade is great in the ring. Omega is great in the ring. I'm all for it. There's no complaints for me by any means necessary. Tell me what you think about this. I'm happy that Andrade went right back to work. He ain't lose a punch. He went right back to work. And I feel him. He hasn't wrestled in forever in WWE. WWE, they mismanaged him. They used him and they abused him, man. So I'm excited for this. Tell me what you think. Andrade versus Omega. Book it. I will tune in. Chris Jericho talks up blood and guts. Chris Jericho spoke to the Wrestling Observer Radio about the upcoming Blood and Guts match, calling it AEW's version of War Games, while also making it clear the company plans to differentiate itself. It's the first time we've seen this. Again, it's not a true and blue War Games either. It is different just because of the way and configuration of Daily's Place you've seen an apparatus like this. There are some differences to it. So, Blood and Guts really is its own version. It's not WWE's version of War Games. It's not Dusty's version of War Games. It's AEW's version of War Games. That's why it's called Blood and Guts. It's not a different name to it. I like that. I like that it has to be different. But not just because we don't own the copyrights for War Games, because we are actually making this little bit different from what we're used to. So I think it's one of those ones where it's a destination match. We've already sold more tickets than any pandemic show just for interest on that. AEW had plans for Blood and Guts last year, but postponed them amid the COVID-19 pandemic. With better planning and arguably an even better storyline with the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, the Blood and Guts event is shaping to be one of the most unique in AEW history. It will be interesting to see how AEW pulls it off and whether the match lives up to the hype of the build. Do I think this will be great? Yes. I want to see if they're how the cages or are they going to have cages, what this is going to look like. I'm very excited about this. I want to see Blood and Guts. I do. So hopefully they knock this one out the park. Because I'm very intrigued about it. So let's just see. Let's wait on it. Let's figure out what's going to happen. And then we can make our decision from there. I think that Santana Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, FTR, I think those guys right there are going to be the ones who really make this match. I'm sure that Wardlow and Jake Hager are going to do some real strong big man things in this match, so that's going to be okay too. MJF and Chris Jericho, they're going to do some good things. Sean Spears, I'm sure he's going to do some good things too. Now, I'm sure that there will be some interference in this match with my guy Tony Blanchard, but there's not so much he can do anyway. Maybe Tessa Blanchard shows up at Blood and Guts with her husband, which is another thing that's going on. Tessa Blanchard and her husband Daga reportedly are coming close to signing a contract with AEW. That's huge because she was supposedly going to be with NXT. So, hey, if that happens at Blood and Guts, I'm all for it. That'd be great to see. I would love to see her do that. Or maybe she doesn't go with the Pinnacle and she goes with the Inner Circle to piss her father off. That would be the best storyline right there. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Now, Daniel Bryan has been moved to the alumni section on WWE website. I don't know what to take this as. I don't think that he's leaving the company. His contract's not up, but WWE could be pissed off about the things he was saying about AEW. And they could have said, like, you know what, bump that, man. We just gonna leave you off television until your contract expires. You never know. But since they moved him there, that's saying something, man. That's saying something. But who knows, man? Who knows? What do you think about that? Do you think that Daniel Bryan's gone from the WWE? Do you think that WWE is being petty for putting him on the alumni section on the WWE website? Or do you think this is just a storyline? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Now, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to me, your host, Mark Destiny. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. You can always leave a comment. Remember, like, subscribe, share this video, hit the notification bell for any wrestling content you need from me. I will be back with you on the solid for my WWE Raw review coming in Tuesday afternoon. Now, you know what you can do if you're feeling this and if you're not. So tap in or tap out.
Hey, the original gangster. And I'm stopping by to tell everybody to check out Wrestling with Destiny podcast on YouTube with Mark Destiny. The original gangster is coming by to tell you, tap in or tap the fuck out. Peace. No.
Looking for the news, I'm the one you need to see. AEW, NXT, and WWE. In and out the rope so we can keep it in the ring. For the business, I'm like great because it turned me to a fiend. I super kicks it to your HBK 9-7 from the same city as Knoxville.